Welcome, everyone. This is week 11 of the Fumbling Gurus podcast. This week, myself, Sick, is hosting. We also have Finsational with us this week, Finn,
What's up, everybody?
and also, of course, G Man.
How's it going, everyone?
All right, so we have some interesting topics to talk about this week. We'll jump into some of, I guess, the news around the league first, and then into some of the more football games and outcomes from there. Of course, with myself starting off this week, one of the things I wanted to hit on was Antonio Brown. He's been, he somehow managed to stay out of the news most of the season up until now. He was doing really well in the beginning of the season. Um, had a great start, and then of course got injured. Has been out for the last like 3 or 4 weeks, I believe. But now, of course, he's in the spotlight for the wrong reasons, I guess you can say. From my perspective, we still don't know all the details, but I did want to hit on it because it doesn't seem completely implausible at this moment. Here's the story. At the beginning of the season, the Buccaneers were one of the first teams to have everyone vaccinated and confirmed. There are, of course, still some teams that haven't even reached that point. So now some people are questioning these teams that were the first to get fully vaccinated. Did they really, fully vet what was being sent to them? But besides that, it has come out that through a personal chef of Antonio Brown's, claims that he is owed money currently, I believe around $10,000. And he also dropped a little tidbit that he said AB turned in a fake vaccine card. So, of course, that's one, I believe, a federal crime, and then two, of course, against league policies. So I'll take myself out of it for a minute. Finn, I'd like to pass it to you. What are your thoughts on the situation?
You are who you hang around with, right? We hear that all the time. And who does he hang around with? Well, your boy, the guy who is known for cheating scandals, Mr. Deflategate himself, Brady. Look, let's face it. If this really doesn't surprise anybody if it comes out true. Antonio Brown circumventing rules. All right. I am interested to know what happens. The Bucks have immediately claimed that no, he's vaccinated. It's legit. The NFL seems to back him. His agent has said it. The chef is kind of angry. He believes he's owed some money. This isn't Chef Boyardee. He wants the money. He doesn't have billions of dollars. So we'll see how it all plays out. But it's not a good look if it turns out to be true. And by the way, not just did he turn in a fake vaccine card, but he was also giving away fake vaccine cards to other NFL players.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of part of that story.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Thanks for adding that little tidbit. Yeah, I mean, to your point, I don't know how do you retroactively take a look at this? I mean, I guess you have a picture of his card on file, hopefully something of that nature, but I don't know. I guess you could go the route of confirming he's signed up through. I don't know. It's all it's healthcare as well. So how do you jump into someone's personal healthcare background and try and confirm all this? But yeah, G-Man, I'll pass to you for your thoughts as well on the situation and just where you think potentially it can go from here.
Look, if you rob a bank, always pay your driver. And I think that's one of those situations where, like, you got a disgruntled employee, which is his chef, which is a at-home chef, so he probably knows him really well. Um, I'm not. It's one of those things where who do you believe in this situation? Do you believe the chef? Do you believe in the NFL organization, Tampa Bay? You know, him, his lawyers. Like, I don't know. I That's very serious though, because you have a federal crime against you, so you want to get all those ends covered.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but it's also Antonio Brown, and he's been in a lot of scandals before, so it wouldn't surprise me if it was true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I think the thing for me too is how far they're going to take the investigation. How seriously is the NFL going to look into it? It could it potentially mean, a police investigation as well if this is a federal crime? Are they going to investigate? Are they going to investigate the Bucks further into other players that may have this? If he had this ring of fake vaccine cards, who else may have been in on the whole plot? Can't just be him. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what comes out of it. I don't know if we'll really get a full answer here, but it'll be interesting, the weeks to come.
That'd
Um,
be crazy.
yeah,
You lost half your lineup to fake vaccine cards.
I mean
Wouldn't surprise me if that TV 12. That's what they do.
Mm,
that's the thing the NFL has to check too, right? Like, are you really going to investigate this and have the Buccaneers fall off the face of the league just for the fake vaccine cards? I mean, how much money are you losing? It's one of the quote unquote best teams in the league right now. The best player to ever wear number 12 playing for him.
mm.
Are you
No,
really
no,
gonna?
Aaron Rodgers already got in trouble for that.
Do you want to dig too far? I guess is you don't ask questions you don't want to know the answers to. Um, but yeah, I mean, bringing Aaron Rodgers into this, he's I just stayed a little under the radar this week, but the Packers have not. It segues into our second topic. The Packers this week announced that they were going to start selling, I guess you can call it stock in the team, but the stock really doesn't give the buyer anything for. Yes, thank you, Finn. We are also going to be doing this.
Yeah.
So 300,000 stock ownership offered at $300 a piece. No appreciation, no trading. You can't do anything with it. You have no say in the company, no say in the operations. The Fumbling Gurus will be doing something very similar to this. If anyone would like to invest in our certificate, reach out to Finn directly. I'll drop his cell phone in the chat. You can just give him a call. But yeah, G-Man, I'll start with you since we passed it over to Finn first last time. Your thoughts and how much of the stock did you buy for the Packers?
Look, if people buy Doge, people are gonna buy stock in the Green Bay Packers, and I think this is what the fourth time, fifth time they've done this. I don't know. It doesn't surprise me. They basically, I read an article about it, and they're basically trying to raise money to upgrade their field. So it's kind of genius. Make you think you have stock in something which you technically do, but you don't get anything out of it, and Green Bay profits. So
Yeah, yeah, I think it is going to be just a mantelpiece potentially. I don't know, family heirloom if you're from Wisconsin. I guess I don't know what you're going to use it for. Um, Finn, let me. I guess I'll ask you a little bit different here. With your wall of regalia there, would you buy stock in the Dolphins with the same parameters here? Would you buy stock in the Dolphins if they were offering it?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So Andrew Brandt, he used to be a part of the Packers organization. I believe he was a GM, but if not a GM, at least a high official within the Packers. And one of the things that he said is, you guys don't understand the connection that these Packer fans have with this team. They a lot of times will tell you that that certificate, this thing right here, no more valuable than this, is one of their most priceless items they have in their house. They
Hmm.
cherish it. One guy I saw on Twitter said he's a business owner and he does like presentations, and one of his lead offs is that I'm a part owner of the Green Bay Packers. It's a way to start conversations. It's something that they can hold on to. I saw
Hmm.
another guy say that I dropped 300 or more dollars in a game like this. So let me take something home that I can actually cherish and have for a long time. We burn through $300 worth of groceries, or you go to Disney and you blow $300. Why not carry something and say that I'm a part owner of the team that I live for, that you can find me every Sunday watching? That's pretty special. I will give them that. Would I do it? No, absolutely not.
No, I get your point. I definitely agree. If you're someone that has season tickets, if you're someone that you go every home game, you buy a jersey every year, $300 is it's a hobby, right? Like it's one of your hobbies. You enjoy going, you enjoy watching the team, following the team. So yeah, I did see that point for sure. I'm the same way. If the Buccaneers were offering it, I don't feel like I would have any need to have that. But again, I'm not the target market that goes to the games every week. So no, I definitely see that side as well.
Buy low, sell high is all I gotta say.
I also would like to point out the timing of this. They announced this right after the COVID fines. I'm just saying that maybe they just wanted to raise some extra money to pay for the fines. I mean, they're going to make $90 million within like 30, 45 seconds. Again, uh, at the fumble or the fumbling gurus at gmail.com, $300. You guys too can own this certificate, and it is, I mean, this is as authentic as it gets. Just saying, guys, you want to be a part of this community, what better way than be a part owner with that certificate? You will have no say in any of the content produced, no say in how this thing is operated, but you get a certificate.
Are these all going to be handwritten, or are we going to photocopy?
TBD.
All
We'll
right.
see our interest level.
We just won't have G-Man write them up. We'll have to, Finn, you'll have to
Oh,
do it
True.
all.
I can't spell, so I'm gonna hire somebody for the legal documents.
All right, let's jump in here to some of the games this week. So I picked out a couple games that I wanted to hit on. Um, two of them I picked ended up being two of the games where two of the teams didn't even score a point. So I think that's something maybe we want to hit on as well. So the first one, and one that I watched most of, was the Seahawks game last week. So of course Russell Wilson is back. It was his first game. It definitely looked like his first game. Not an easy opponent. They're playing the Packers. Packers are now they're 8-2, so a great team that they were playing with a struggling. I say struggling, but an offense that's trying to get back into the swing of things with the quarterback being back. But it did not look good. They couldn't get anything going. They rushed for just over 40 yards. Russell Wilson had 160 yards, no touchdowns, of course. Um, so, I mean, we just start the conversation there and just see your guys' overall opinion and maybe jump into a couple details from the game. But, Finn, kind of take away your thoughts on, I guess, the Seahawks in general and Russell Wilson. Is that just an anomaly, or is he going to bounce back this week?
He he's got to get back in the groove of things. Chris Carson, the big news out of Seattle is that he is having season-ending neck surgery,
Mm-hmm.
which they were kind of hoping he would be able to come back and be a boost to that offense, and he just isn't. Tyler Lockett, Metcalf, I mean, these guys are legit players. Russell Wilson is a magician behind even a bad offensive line. I just think it was a rough comeback at a really good opponent whose defense is playing at a high level right now.
Hmm.
The Packers aren't exactly known as like a great defense, but they've held Mahomes down. Now they held Russell Wilson down. I'm not ready to hit the panic button on Wilson's return, but I don't think it's. I think it's safe to say that Seattle Seahawks are cooked birds at this point. Right around Thanksgiving, we can go ahead and eat them.
Yeah, I mean their season. I mean, I don't think there's much saving it, especially after that performance. Um, but man, Russell Wilson, you were talking about, Lockett. A lot of his throws were just thrown up to hope that someone could come down. It didn't even seem like there was a game plan. So I mean, I think part of it was they were behind and trying to figure something out. But it did not look. It just looked like a mess to me. I didn't see a game plan. I didn't see anything that was attempting to get into motion there. But G-Man, your thoughts? Clearly, Seahawks. and for the rest of the season are probably just going to be in, preparing potentially for next season. But what are your thoughts on the game? Any outcomes that you had?
They're gonna I bold prediction, but I think they're gonna stay on the bottom of the NFC West. So yeah. So I mean, like they're 3-6 right now. You got the Cardinals, which are 8-2, and the Rams, which are 7-3. I don't think that they're even got a chance this season. I think that Russell Wilson, great, he's back. They could maybe start winning a couple games, but do I see him going anywhere this season? No, no. I think they once he got injured, that was it.
Hmm.
And remember too that all offseason there's this kind of, will they trade Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson's not very happy. Russell Wilson is kind of done with the organization. They don't, he wants to be in a pass heavy offense, not this run heavy offense that he's in. Is this a way to say, look, maybe we need to hit the reset button. Let's ship Russell Wilson out to the Denver Broncos, to the Philadelphia Eagles, to the Miami Dolphins. It's, if he's really disgruntled and he's not happy, you might see kind of this bad rest of the year. I mean, they've got a very tough schedule coming up. As much as Russell Wilson's beloved, could this be his last stretch here with Seattle?
Yeah, I mean, it could be. It is an interesting point because, I mean, looking like I said at some of the cohesion on the team. I mean, Russell Wilson's just throwing the ball up. He's just, again, it's his first game back, but there are signs there that he doesn't appear to be happy with either the offense or the play calls or something. Because nothing was in agreement on that game for them, and the scoreboard, of course, showed that. Um, but moving in, I guess a team maybe in a similar situation, but not necessarily with injuries or the quarterback there. The Falcons last night. I feel bad even talking about it. I mean, looking at the frustration from Matt Ryan, I know they hit on it quite a bit during the game, showing his bench presence, his interactions with the team. Clearly not happy with the outcome and what was going on during the game. But for those that may not have caught it, um, last night they did go scoreless. They were playing. I'm waiting for my thing
New
to
England
load.
Patriots.
Yeah, the Patriots, and ended up 25-0. So it's not a very good scoreline, not a very good game. Last night, again, very similar, nothing going on. Their leading rusher had 8 yards. Matt Ryan had 150 yards, 0 points scored on the board. G-Man, your thoughts? I mean, we've known Falcons aren't a great team, but their record wasn't necessarily bad. So what are your thoughts on that game?
Did they not just go to the Super Bowl a couple years ago? Not a couple, but you know what I mean. Like they got no money to spend on any players. They're at the lowest cap in the NFL. They just lost to 0-25 to the Pats and 43-3 to the Cowboys. They're not going anywhere. They're just dumpster trash. They're I I can't say anything else. Like this team is just red button. Press the red button, reset. That's all I gotta say. There's nothing else you could do with this team. I think, if I'm not mistaken, in the Pats game, all three quarterbacks played and they all threw interceptions. Um, no, what do you do with it? What do you do with it?
Yeah, I mean, there is even some help from the defense, or a couple interceptions on the Falcons' defense. Brought it back to around half field a couple times, and the offense still couldn't get anything going. So yeah, it's a dumpster fire for sure. Finn, I guess a little different perspective from your side. Uh, where do you see the Falcons going from here? I mean, they have we'll call him a veteran quarterback. Not necessarily any talent, at least top talent in terms of like wide receiver, running back. Where do you see them rebuilding? How do you see them approaching next year?
They went into that draft and they selected Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts, great tight end out of Florida. He was an elite player, maybe the best offensive player in the draft in terms of non-quarterbacks. Okay, very, very, very good player. Apparently, they wanted Trey Lance, but he got taken one pick ahead of him. I don't know what they were doing with that. They traded Julio Jones. Now,
Hmm.
I know they didn't expect Calvin Ridley to have the have to step away, and so I know that they were expecting Ridley to still be around. But they're old, they're slow, they're not very talented. Matt Ryan eats up a ton of their cap. He's a good player, but let's face it, he's on the back end of his career. Their defense is decent. They got that one corner who had the pick, really really nice player. But let's face it, that Atlanta defense is not good, and they've gotten lucky to win this many games. I'm kind of happy to see Atlanta playing trashy. It's kind of nice. But I think there's a bigger takeaway. The Patriots are kind of back, guys. I I'm kind of scared. They are following the exact line that they did when they first won some Super Bowls. That is having elite defensive play and a quarterback that checks the ball down and throws it under 5 yards and prays that nobody jumps the ball and has a pick six. And yes, Mac Jones, all you hear about is how great he is. And I know I'm kind of going off a tangent here. Not this week, last week. He threw the ball, what was it, 26 times?
Hmm.
19 of those, the ball did not travel even 5 yards. Let's calm down here on the whole Mac Jones is this elite player, okay? He's good, he's decent, he's average, whatever. Let's pump the brakes. The guy's not Hall of Fame quality yet. But that Pats team with that defense and Bill Belichick coaching it, they're a threat in the AFC, and I do not like to see that.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna hop into that as well. I know we've been throwing a couple stats back and forth. I saw last 2 weeks, Mac Jones, like you said, potentially shorter throws, but over 80% accuracy rating for the last 2 weeks, both weeks. And I believe before that, I believe he's averaging like 72% over the last 3 weeks.
Talk to me when he has over 250 yards in a game.
Hey man, his team's 7-4. Patriots team that a lot had written off this year.
Those
Yeah,
ankle
that's true.
locks, though. Those ankle locks. Those are tight. Tight ankle locks.
It's the only elite thing he has going for him.
Right? God. Strap a UFC belt over his
I,
waist.
I'm honestly, I will say this. I just had this conversation with my dad earlier today. It drives me nuts that Mac Jones is getting all this positive attention. He's this elite player. He's Hall of Fame bound. He's doing things that no rookie should have done. The Jaguars should have taken him over Trevor Lawrence. What were San Francisco thinking? Yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. He's not having any better year than Tua had last year. And yet Tua was, oh no, he's trash. Miami needs to select a new quarterback. Whoa, 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 everybody. What's going on? Why is Tua still starting? They're benching him. They were 10-6 last year. Tua won a bunch of games. The defense carried them in New England. What has Mac Jones done that's special? I think he's thrown over 300 yards like once this season. He's checked the ball down. He's careful with it. He doesn't turn it over, but a lot of guys can do that. So I look at it and go, he's a good player. He's far from elite, but they're not built to be anything special on offense. They've got two expensive tight ends, a ton of running backs, and a great defense. But they are good. But let's face it, Mac Jones,
If but out of all the rookie QBs, I would choose Mac Jones.
statistically this year, yes. 5 years from now, no.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, do you attribute it a little bit to Bill Belichick and how he's running the offense to have these checkdowns? Because I mean, like you're saying, yeah, they may not be necessarily him going out and destroying everyone, right? But they're winning games. He has the numbers, he has the stats. is this Bill trying to build him up and allowing him time to grow as a quarterback and get to that level, or do you think this is just what the plan is for this year? And once they kind of let him loose to try and be an Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady, he won't meet that expectation.
Bill Belichick is one of the greatest coaches to ever step on a football field. Yes, he cheats. Yes, he toes the line. He crosses the line sometimes, but he is one of the greats. Josh McDaniels has been his right hand man for many years, except for those like 2 years that he was the head coach of Denver, where McDaniels built an offense around Tim Tebow. Okay, McDaniels is a mastermind when it comes to the offense. And Belichick is very much allowing this quarterback, giving him the easy checkdowns and building game plans to where they're not asking Mac Jones to win games. They're asking Mac Jones to not cost them games. Just do enough. I mean, you look at the game and you went 25-0, and you're like, wow, that's a good game. And then you look at it and realize they scored one touchdown. That's it. One. They had a ton of field goals. I just don't see it out of Mac Jones. Yeah, he's good. I think when they rely on him and they need him, I'm not sure he's the guy.
Hmm.
I, I'm I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback, and I'm not saying he won't be a top 15 guy. I mean, he's built, and I'm going to throw a comparison that I've not really seen a lot of, but from what I've seen kind of matches is a Drew Brees, a Chad Pennington, a guy that's not got a real big arm. He's not real mobile, but he's very accurate with the ball, and he's got a nice touch pass, and he knows where to go with it. And that's great. But let's see what happens when the defense gives up 5 touchdown passes.
Hmm.
Let's see what happens when you have to keep up with a Patrick Mahomes and an Aaron Rodgers or even the Bucks offense and they're scoring 30, 40 points. I want to see that Mac Jones. I don't want to see this Mac Jones throwing one touchdown pass.
Yeah. Yeah, someone that'll challenge them a little bit and force them to get them out of their game plan that they came in for with the game and kind of let loose a little bit. A gunslinger game. For sure. I think there's still more to be seen there, but no, I get your point. I think there is a little bit, not only from the Falcons side, but also on the Patriots side, that they may be here to play ball this year. All right.
Seems like it, unfortunately.
Yeah. So I know we're probably dreading this, but we have to go through what we picked out last week.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we have to. It's
Uh,
we can do
Been
it
out.
quick and easy. All right,
If,
so
if
go ahead, Finn.
if I'm not mistaken, I believe the podcast last week, somebody made a comment about the upset of the week, and that if the upset was wrong, he was going to buy steak dinners for the other two hosts on the channel. Is that what I remember, Sick?
yeah.
Uh, I mean, we also I was on the boat of saying if we all pick the same team, I'm out, and I should have done it. I should have.
What's
Listen,
what's what's
I,
funny about that game, and we're gonna get into it, I know. When I first looked at it, I actually misread who the favorite was, and so I had originally written down the other team, and then I realized that they were the favorite and went, oh, well, it's a 50-50 game. I'm gonna flip the other side. So I should have actually went with my gut and said the other team was gonna win, but we'll get into that one in a second. I'm sure. Sorry, I kind of took over there.
Yeah. So for those that were not here last week, we all three of us, as our upset of the week, picked the Browns over the Patriots. And as we mentioned, seems the Patriots have come to play this week. So it's not a very good pick. We ended up all not scoring a point on that, and that's why we're kind of not wanting to jump into this week. And it was not. It wasn't even close. That game wasn't even I'm not even gonna say the score line, but it was it's a large amount.
We'll just say this: if it wasn't even if we were allowed to cover, we didn't cover.
You could probably times it by like 4 or 5, and we still wouldn't have covered.
Listen, I said put all my picks on this one and let it ride. And that I did.
Oh, Josh. So yeah, one bright spot. We did have one person that got a point last week. All right, so we'll go real quick into our locks of the week. Teams that we felt would win no matter what. G-Man, Colts over Jacksonville. Run us through that pick.
All right. First quarter, Colts scoring 17. I was like, okay, maybe I got a chance with that 10.5 point spread. And then they just bellied up. I don't I don't know what happened in that game. It wasn't one of the Colts' greatest games, and I don't know how against the trash Jaguars that somehow found themselves not last in the league when I thought they were surely going to be. But yeah, that was not a shining moment for the Colts, and I took an L.
Put your finger on it, huh?
Yep.
So to be fair, the Colts did win. They did not cover, which was part of the stipulations for that. The cover was, I believe, 10 to 11 points, and they only
10 and a
won.
half.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
won by 6. So
Yeah. And it was not pretty either because Jacksonville at the end scored 8 points.
Good teams win, great teams cover is kind of the old adage.
Is that it?
Yeah, it really is. That's actually a phrase. I'm
That's a
not
thing.
lying.
That's a
Good
thing.
teams win, but great teams cover.
Sick. What's wrong with your team?
dude, I don't. We're not a great team, apparently. That's coming up. That's coming up. I have a couple thoughts there.
I'm sorry. I jumped the gun.
Finn, always picking the Vikings. I don't. We'll have to go back and see. I don't think you've gotten a point off the Vikings this year. But you picked the Chargers to win against the Vikings. Run us through it.
So I definitely thought that the Chargers were going to come out and dominate the Vikings. They're not a very good team. I picked them to cover against the Lions a few weeks back, and then they couldn't cover against the trash Lions. They're just a bad team, and they keep games close. And I thought, what better way to break this offense? Justin Herbert's going to get going. Keenan Allen's going to go off, and it just didn't happen. I mean, it just didn't happen. And congratulations, Vikings fans! And getting that victory. They didn't Chargers didn't even win the game, let alone cover, and it was sad. It happens. I went 0-2 this week, but that was after several weeks where I went 7-2 on my picks. So you have one bad week, you let it ride, you forget about it. You're coming strong this week. I'm gonna go 3-0, and I'm gonna forget about it. It's just a bad week.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I think you are coming off a pretty hot streak, so we'll see. We'll see if you can bounce back. We'll give you another week here. I myself, I picked the Cowboys over the Falcons. The Cowboys let me down big time the week before, so I gave them another chance, and they came back. So they did cover against the Falcons. Man, CeeDee Lamb went off. Ezekiel Elliott went off. So yeah, and I mean we talked about the Falcons earlier, so I think that helped a little bit there. So yeah, we'll jump into now. Of course, we pick our teams as well each week. Finn, you had the week off due to the
I
Thursday
picked
night.
Miami. Everybody's heard me say I picked Miami to win that game.
Uh,
I deserve a point.
I
Okay,
remember
yeah,
differently, but
we talked about that last week. It was a great win. Congratulations, Miami Dolphins, crushing and dominating the Baltimore Ravens. That's all I got to say. I just wanted to talk about my team for a second.
fair enough. Yeah, I guess I'll jump into my team first. Um, they played the Washington football team last week. I believe we
Yeah.
were somewhere around 11-point favorites. And we not only didn't cover, we didn't even win the game. So, yeah, I don't have, I don't know. I, I, I keep saying, and this was kind of my thing at the beginning of the year, that there's just something missing. We weren't necessarily, we just weren't showing up to games. And it was again, we just didn't show up to the game. I don't know what it is. Maybe it is just we aren't as good as we are on paper. But that's starting to become the trend. So I think this did not help. Washington football team, of course, is not a very good team. I believe they had 2 wins heading into last week, and they beat us by 10 points. They almost beat the spread in the opposite direction. So yeah, I mean, not much I can say besides hopefully we can start bouncing back. Hopefully this is a kick in the butt. We were coming off a bye week. Maybe that had something to do with it. Usually it's the opposite effect. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Not much else I want to necessarily cover there, but it was not pretty. G-Man, walk us through the Denver Eagles game last week.
All right. So the Eagles come into this, and the score is 30-13 with the Eagles. Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, great. It was awesome to see. I loved it as an Eagles fan, but I didn't pick them to win, like a true Eagles fan, and I took an L this week, unfortunately. Um, yeah, God, I did not think that they were gonna beat Denver after they did what they did to the Cowboys. It's hard for me to go there and say, oh yeah, like how do you have a team crush out one of the top teams in the NFL, and then you play one of the mid-road teams in the Eagles and not crush them. So I thought it was a shoe in, but I am happy that my Eagles got the win at the end of the day. So,
Yeah, no, I think that was
but I got
your.
the L. So
I think that was your when we were talking the last week that you picked Denver because either way you'd be even if you got the L here you'd get the W for the Eagles. So
mhm.
for sure that's definitely one approach, I guess.
I would
Um,
like to point out that for the first time ever on this podcast, we have a historic moment. We had somebody go 0-3 on picks in a single week. So congratulations, G-Man. You're the first to go 3-0, and you followed it up with the first to go 0-3.
No, no, that's not true.
Hate to break it to you, bud.
That's not true. I'm
It is.
pretty sure you've done it before. I'll have
No,
to look
I
back on
went
it.
I went
I'll
0-2
look
this
back on
week.
this. No, 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 no. I'll look back on this. I'll look at the entire thing and I'll look and I'll analyze and I'll see. But I don't believe that. Because I swear I've seen more red on yours than anybody else's.
I
So
did 1-2 a whole lot, but I was never 0-3.
I'm pretty sure you were 0-3.
I'm looking at it right now, bud.
uh,
You know what? I'm still tied for the most wins, so 0-3, 3-0, it doesn't matter. I'm bouncing back.
I think it is. I think that is something we mentioned. It may be the first 0-3. I think Finn got a technicality one week, and that
This
kept
week,
him.
I was 0-2 this week.
Well, yeah, but there was another week where there was arguments over whether or not you picked the spread, and I think that would have made you go 0-3 that week. But regardless, yeah, it was not a pretty week for our picks.
I think you guys jinxed me when you picked my pick, so for my upset. When you picked it, my team lost. So it's your guys' fault.
All right. Jumping into the upcoming week. This is not a fun week for picks. There's some tough games, and just overall, the teams, the behind the scenes. Last week, Steelers had Big Ben out. He's supposed to be back this week. Amari Cooper's out this week. I mean, there is just a lot of things going on, at least for my picks, that factored into some of this. Injuries, off the field items, and just, man, there's some tough games, tough spreads to try and guess what may occur this week. So I'll start off with my lock, and then we can jump to Finn and then G Man. So this week I did settle on the Ravens over the Bears. So that was the game that I picked. I think the Ravens always find a way to win, except for apparently last week. But I think they'll bounce back. It was only a 6 point spread for them against the Bears. So to me, I felt this was the best chance, and really, I don't foresee them losing, and hopefully they'll cover that spread as well. Finn, we'll pass to you.
Um, so when I look at games, I kind of sometimes, what type of games are good letdown games? And then how do teams rebound? How do teams kind of rejuvenate themselves? And I think when you take a loss like you did on a Thursday night game, you get that extra long rest. You get to kind of think, man, I want to come out and make a statement.
Mm-hmm.
What better way than a bad Chicago team? I too picked Baltimore over Chicago, which interestingly enough, when I put this down on my paper, it was a 4.5 point spread and it has already moved to 6 points. So Chicago is a 6 point underdog to Baltimore, which is kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm with you, Baltimore. And if G-Man you pick Baltimore, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, we're not doing this. We're all picking this. I'm changing my pick if that occurs again.
Yeah.
Giving you guys fair warning there. So G-Man, hopefully that's not the case.
So I too picked Baltimore. I'm just kidding. No. No. I picked the Cardinals to beat
Uh,
Seattle, and I think it's only like a 1.5 point spread. And I think Kyler Murray's
mm.
back. So yeah,
Is he?
he is pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Wait, is he? Is he not? I thought
He's
he
a
was
game
it. Huh?
he's a game time decision again. Same and DeAndre Hopkins is expected to miss. Let me verify that here.
Please verify that. But I'm on the Cardinals train, okay? The way Seattle was against Green Bay last week, it just, if it's any indication, I think that the Cardinals got it in the bag.
Yeah, it was a game I looked at. The only thing for me is the Seahawks are kind of the anomaly there. I'm not sure how they're going to bounce back, if last week was a fluke or is going to continue. That's the only reason I didn't pick that game, because I agree. I think I saw the same things and thought, Cardinals was season they're having. But man, if the Seahawks come firing all cylinders, it might be a tough game.
But man, I did not know. I was for sure Kyler Murray was back. That's gonna hurt if he's not back.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, no. With Kyler Murray, that was my pick. So I'm still locking it down, even if he doesn't play, which he didn't play last week, and they got crushed by the Panthers,
Hmm.
which sucks. But I
Can
don't
we
know.
just say that there's a guy named Tim Boyle who is probably going to be starting for the Detroit Lions?
What is
That's a
your
that's a that's a thing.
His name is Tim Boyle.
Yeah. So Arizona Cardinals Cliff Kingsbury says Kyle Murray will be a game day decision and adds that he has definitely progressed and they're more hopeful than the last couple of weeks. And that was from Paul Calzvivici as of 12:57 today.
hmm,
Listen, I don't care if he's in or out. I'm still picking the Cardinals to beat the Seahawks.
fair enough. All right.
It's a 1.5 point spread, so
I mean, yeah, if you're going by the spread there, it's not a bad pick. Basically, just have to win.
Hmm.
All right. We'll do a reverse order for upsets. G-Man, we'll start off with you.
So, I looked and I looked and I looked, and I'm like, I don't see a good upset to save my life. And then one team shined out to me the most. It's a team that nobody would expect, that we've told each other time and time again never to choose.
Oh God.
And that team is quite possibly the worst team in the NFL.
Oh
But they
God.
didn't lose last week, and that is the Lions. I picked the Lions to beat Cleveland. Cleveland, which got absolutely destroyed against the Patriots last week. I think. Hmm?
Did you not just hear me say that Tim Boyle is the starting quarterback of the Detroit Lions this week?
Uh,
Yes, I did.
That's a Goffle pick.
How do you know?
Because
How do
Jared
you know
Goff is
though?
hurt.
How do you? I know, but how do you know that Boyle might just not, pop the Browns bubble?
Look, you do you. You
Hey,
do you.
look,
I will say this. This week, we are not all agreeing on our upset of the week.
this is for
And
sure.
I have to say that may be the most mind-boggling pick I've ever heard. And congratulations,
really,
G-Man. I hope you are right.
really, really. I look. I don't know. I don't know. They've been close. Yeah. Okay. I guess I didn't fully grasp the situation on either of those picks. So
It's locked in,
I'm just
guys.
gonna. Oh, another 0-3 start for me. I'm sure. Moving on.
Well, this week I did do some digging on the upsets of the week, and again I like teams that either are coming off of maybe an embarrassing loss or a tight game where maybe they squeaked it out just to give them that kind of momentum. And that's not what I did this week. I went in a kind of a WTF moment. I picked Washington over the Carolina Panthers, building off of that momentum of beating the AFC South opponent they faced last week. They're going to beat the AFC South opponent this week. They are facing the Cam Newton led Panthers.
Um,
And yeah, he might be back, but so are the L's. Washington football team, let's go. They are a 3.5 point underdog, but I don't care. Like we said, they got to win outright. They will.
they crushed
Brady.
Cardinals last week. The Panthers.
Carolina? Oh, yeah, that's fine.
I don't know. Do you believe in the hype?
Think,
No,
Cam Newton?
yeah, you think Newton's gonna keep it up?
no,
I don't
it's
know.
law of gravity, man.
I don't know.
It's the law of gravity, man.
It's not the pick I would have picked. I would have picked the Lions.
Guess you didn't get that G-man. Newton, guy that kind of discovered gravity. Apple fell on his head.
I understand what goes up must come down, but I got it. I got it now.
God. Yeah. God.
Well,
Garbage.
we're not saving that one, Finn. We're not. No.
Clipping it out.
All right. I'll round it out here. They brought me back last week. They got the Gurus the only point the whole week. And I kind of want to see the team they're playing keep losing. So I picked the Cowboys over the Chiefs. They don't have Amari Cooper. I know this. He'll be out this week. But they still have enough weapons. I think they're going to pull it out. And I'd like to see them win.
The Chiefs Stadium, huh? You
Yep.
think they're gonna win away?
Dude, their defense is legit.
It is. I don't know. I think they Chiefs found their stride.
Finn's quiet. Too
Yeah.
quiet.
It's a close game. I didn't want to put money on either one of those teams.
Yeah.
They're both good. They're both good quarterbacks, led teams. Their defenses are Dallas defense historically has been a little sus, but this year they seem to be doing all right. Amari Cooper, he's out. Their offensive line's banged up, but they still have CeeDee Lamb. They're getting back their other receiver, Gallup, Elliott, Pollard. It's a good team. But Kansas City has Patrick Mahomes. I don't bet against Mahomes.
I don't know, man. It is tough. This is one of those games where I picked what I want to happen, what I want to occur. So um, I think that'll be interesting, and if the Cowboys can pull it off, that'll be exciting. All right,
Like, yeah.
we'll follow into the our picks for our teams this week. Um, Finn, you haven't gotten to go first, so we'll let you kind of round it out here with the Dolphins.
Joe Flacco is the starting quarterback of the New York Jets. He drops back. He looks left. He throws right. It's picked off. Miami wins this game single handedly by a lot of points. Definitely more than that three. Let's go, Miami. They have the greatest football team. And when you say Miami, you're talking Super Bowl. Definitely easy dub. I'm not even worried. They better show up. They better win. Come on, Miami. It's your moment. Jets are bad.
What?
Flacco's their starting quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Mike
The
White is their backup. Their number 2 overall pick, rookie quarterback that's supposed to be great, Zach Wilson, is still hurt, still out.
Yeah, I don't know. Did Tua wasn't in there last time they played him, right?
The
Was
last
he?
time they played, yes, he was.
Hmm.
And they played Flacco. And Flacco got wrecked. Flacco was horrible. It was one of the worst games of Flacco's career. And Miami just steamrolled him. Well, we get to see him this time. Tua last week came in, he got to be the hero. This week, his middle finger is healthy, so he can give the middle finger to the Jets fans as they cry as Miami wins like 28-3, something like that would be my guess. It's gonna be fun.
Oh,
So Miami Dolphins are 6-0 against the spread versus the New York Jets over the last 3 seasons. So
Knew that.
yeah. I mean,
pretty good,
it's
pretty good pick.
yeah. I'm not sure how you can go against that for sure. Um, man, I guess I'll go second here. This is one of those games. The Bucks are playing the Giants. I don't know. The Giants are one of those teams that, again, kind of like Washington football team, that if they want to show up, they can. Um, and I don't know. I don't know. I keep picking the Buccaneers. I keep picking the wrong side of the spread most of the weeks. Um, so I think I'm gonna have to go this week. I mean, I see a bounce back a little bit from the Bucks. I think they'll come in. They'll want to win. They'll want to show everyone that it was a fluke last week. Um, but I'm not sure they're going to beat them by 11 points. This is a tough one for me. Um, I think the Giants are hurting. Of course, don't have their starting running back for a couple weeks now. Um, I don't know how many receivers are back. I didn't look this up, but they've
I
had
believe
injuries. Was it?
their Tony Kadarius Tony is still healthy, and
Hmm.
I believe they are getting back Galladay, their expensive free agent, wide receiver free agent this week. So they are going to be a little healthier than they've been.
Yeah.
And don't forget though, just to make things worse, Tom Brady, he goes to bed at like 8 p.m. every night. Game don't start till 8:30. He's gonna be like halftime, man. He's in his REM sleep usually.
No, he's got I don't know what he does. Some kale smoothie or something to pick him up in the halftime.
Steroids.
No, I still think 11 points is a little much for me against the Giants, especially coming off last week. So call it I don't know. Groundhog getting scared of a shadow or something, but I say Buccaneers, they'll win, but they will not cover the spread this week.
So in essence, you'd be putting money on the Giants. Respect.
With the spread, yes, I think the Buccaneers don't cover that. So
The other thing is the Giants seem to have Brady's number in the Super Bowl.
they seem to have everyone's number, man. They again, they're that team that kind of like against all odds will find a way to win when they
Yeah,
want
but you
to.
missed what I said. Sorry, let me say it again. Let it sink in. The Giants have Brady's number in Super Bowls.
I don't.
Eli Manning's 2 Super Bowl wins came against the Patriots. The
Yeah.
Patriots entered the year 18-0 to only have one giant loss.
Oof.
I think that's more. I don't know. I don't even know what to attribute that to. Uh, Tea leaves. I don't know how the Giants pulled off those wins, but you're not wrong. They may have Brady's
I
number.
am gonna feel so bad for you if the Buccaneers destroy the Giants and you
Uh,
don't cover.
you
I'm gonna
know,
feel so bad for you.
every week
So bad.
it's opposite of what I call. So we know there's going to be like 60-2,
Just
and
if it's prime time, bet against that spread. It's a Monday game. Bet you might be right.
I don't know, man. We can hope. That's my hope. That's my prediction. We know I'm always wrong when it comes to the spread, so we'll find out on Monday. Um, G-Man, your team is against the Saints this week. Um, Saints have been up and down, but coming off of a couple of good weeks for them. What are your thoughts heading into the game?
So thanks for watching the Fumbling Gurus podcast. Um, no, they're without Alvin Kamara. The Eagles are a 1.5 or a 1.5 point favorite. I'm gonna have to go with the Eagles at home, beating the Saints and covering that 1.5 point spread. I think that with the win over Denver, I like their chances with no Alvin Kamara, a running back. So
Yeah, I think that hurts their team quite a bit. I think he's of course an elite player, but one that kind of uh, facilitates a lot of the offense with the screen plays and kind of setting up those items. Um, so yeah, it'll be an interesting game for sure, but it doesn't bode well with some of those key pieces missing.
If they had Jameis Winston and Alvin Kamara, I'd be laughing at you right now. But they don't. So
listen, that's the only reason I pick that's the only reason I said what I said. Okay, it's the only reason I said what I said. So you can't laugh at me when they pull up the upset. Well, not the upset, because they're the
when they
favorite.
cover the 2.5 points.
1.5 points.
Okay. The site. So for those who don't know, when you go gambling, depending on which site you use, the
So
spreads can differ. And I tend to there's two different sites that I'll use to get spreads. You get mine typically from CBS. So for
mm,
those who want to go track like our spreads, that's what I tend to use. I know in the group chat I posted something else at one point. Um,
are we going? So like later in the days, the spreads just kind of bounce. Are we going like the latest spreads or
it's I guess whenever you looked
whenever?
and you said that was 1.5, so
Yeah.
we'll do 1.5.
All right.
Yeah, and again, for those who aren't aware, spreads change based on how money gets put into the system, and also, right? No, it also depends on injuries, and lines can move one way or the other. So, and sometimes you might hear us say, "Hey, we believe that I'm picking the Dolphins at a -3 points." Well, what that really means is when we did this podcast or when I looked at my numbers, it was -3. And by the time you hear it, if you listen to it on Saturday, it might be 3.5, it might be 4, it might be 2.5, whatever it is. It might be a little different simply because of that. So just kind of for those, just that's a little bit of what happens here in the NFL gambling world.
For sure. All right. I think we're wrapping up here. I don't necessarily have any final words this week. I got to, set up my agenda today, so I'll give you guys some time, starting off with G-Man.
Go Birds. I don't want to go 0-3 this week, so I think my only saving grace is my Eagles because my picks were atrocious.
Mm-hmm.
So go Birds.
Birds and lions, you seem to be rooting for. You like
Look,
you have a thing for
no,
that.
no. The only reason I didn't pick the Cowboys, by the way, is because you keep giving me crap about it. So I stopped picking them. And so I looked at that team sick, and I didn't pick them because I knew I would get crap for it, and I didn't. I was like, they're like one of those untouchable teams now where it's really enticing, but I'm not gonna do it.
Oh, fair enough. Finn, your final thoughts.
So I have exactly named this station. So if anybody would like to donate and give $700 million for naming rights, I will change this name to anything. It could be crypto.com, whatever you would like. I will gladly change it for $700 million. Thank you.
Sean Watson headquarters.
$700 million, it'll be called that.
We're gonna split it 3 ways though.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put a paper banner behind my.
There we go.
And for those who aren't aware, what I was there's a stadium that just got the naming rights to crypto.com, and they paid $700 million for 20 years of naming rights.
Yes.
Oof.
Is it the Staples Center that
Yeah, I
got
believe it
renamed?
was in LA. Yep.
Different sport, but fun.
Wow.
All right.
That's nutty.
So yeah, I think that wraps it up for this week. Some exciting games this week, some tough spreads and tough games that are going on. So hopefully be some interesting football and potentially no shutouts or blowouts like last week. That seemed to be the trend for last week. So yeah, thank you guys for listening in this week. Thanks Finn and G-Man for all the conversations today. And, we hope you guys join in again next week to hear about the, of course, awesome picks we made and how insightful we were on the games upcoming this week. But appreciate everyone tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye, everyone.
A great one. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye.